there, welcome back to episode 2 of Progression Over Destination. Apologies for the delay in getting another episode to you. Life got in the way and we're determined to do this more than ever now, given our current situation. Sit back and enjoy the ramblings of myself and Mathew Price getting to know the ins and outs of this week's guest, Daniel Rees, aka Jimmy, of Zebrano Wood Craft. Thanks guys.
Hey, what's up guys? Back with another episode about 6 months on from the last one when me and Pricey did an hour and a half of just absolute crap. Today we are going to be joined by Jimmy. Where is it?
Daniel Rees of Zebrano Wood Craft. There he is.
All right, boys.
How's it going?
It's great to be here. Thank you very much. I hope that you're staying safe and quarantined and enjoying your time down.
Trying.
Can you just make sure that you get your hands sanitized before we start this digital meeting?
I'll get my antiseptic wipes out.
I haven't got any here in the cabin.
Oh, I touched my face, but I've got clean hands, so does it matter? I don't know. I've got a dead penguin next to me, so it's alright. Cool. So, this is episode number 2. We haven't got a title for it yet, because we've not made the title.
How about Got Wood?
Got Wood. Yeah. We're going to call it Got Wood.
We got wood, boys. We also got anti-back.
Got Wood, got anti-back.
Wouldn't it be nice? So, can you do us a favour, Jim?
Yeah.
And state your name, your occupation, and your favourite beige snack.
Oh, nice. My name is Daniel Rees. These guys know me by my nickname Jimmy. I operate a online business called Zebrano Wood Craft, where I create and sell custom rings made with exotic materials like whiskey barrels, Damascus steel, dinosaur bones, and precious metals. And my favorite beige snack probably be a corn. What do you call them? A corn Scotch egg.
Corn Scotch egg?
Yeah, man. I like a corn Scotch egg.
What about the Japanese Scotch egg? Have you ever had one of those?
I love a Japanese Scotch egg, only as a tattoo.
I have a Japanese Scotch egg in my in between my koi cartilage.
I don't know.
What was that? Russell Kane had a bit. Like he said, what was that bit? It was about Scotch eggs. He said, "What is the most anti-vegan food you can get?" And it was Scotch eggs, because it has death on the outside and the potential for life on the inside. I love Russell Kane. He's so good.
Yeah.
So, right, we're gonna knock into some questions for you, Jim.
For me?
Yeah, for you. Yeah, that's what it's all about.
I'll better take my glasses off then.
Yeah. So, where are you located, Jim?
Currently, Zebrano HQ is currently in Worthing, West Sussex, which is down on the south coast of England.
Cool, awesome. And is it an office, or do you want to give us a bit of background of how you got to that place, or? Yeah,
this is what's this? This must be my 4th workshop space. I started out making wooden rings on my kitchen table in my own flat. And then I eventually, we moved house and I upgraded to pretty much like a lean-to / kind of like a shed. And then I got upgraded and got another workshop in some industrial warehouse, but that closed down. And then I got another workshop then was a shed at the back of a washing machine shop. But since, I think it's a year to the day, actually. Today, me and my friend Damien from a company called Ebon Crow Adornments, we've moved into a really nice premises now. So we got a workshop. We've got 3 lathes set up and loads of power tools. It's cool.
Amazing.
Class.
Yeah,
that's so good.
Cool. Jack.
Yeah. I didn't realise you'd had so many locations.
Oh yeah, I've moved around a fair bit, man. It's been crazy.
What's the time period of that though? How long has that been since day one?
That's probably from over the last like 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, decent.
Brocation.
Brocation.
New name for the episode.
Brocation. Speaking of Brocation, me and Jimmy were actually supposed to be in Abu Dhabi this week.
Oh man, yeah, we
were
were.
in the dunes.
Dude, we should have been. We should have been sitting on a sand dune smoking a shisha pipe right now.
Yeah, I know.
With Marshall.
With Paul Marshall.
Paul Marshall. Yeah.
Special shout out to Marshall. Hi, bye.
Yeah, big shout out to Paul von Marshall. Michelle. Cool. So a lot of stuff that we're going to come across for you, Jim, is stuff that me and Jack already know, but obviously no one else knows that about you. So
I probably don't know a lot of Pricey.
No, yeah, of course, yeah.
Because I probably don't know a lot of this.
Yeah.
So obviously when you started everything, did you apply for any funding, or did you literally just take the money out of your pocket and just
Yeah,
try?
no, man, I started out like with probably about, I think I must have invested like 50 quid in some wood veneer and like a craft knife, and like I built it all up from there really. So yeah, I built it up from, like the bare minimum tools, like right the way up to now I've got like a decent little setup now with.
Do you have a lathe?
Oh yeah. Oh yes, the lathes for days, bro. Lathes for days.
Lathes for days.
So we can see your process as well on YouTube, Jim. What's your YouTube channel?
So pretty much you can just find me at Zebrano Wood Craft everywhere. So on YouTube, it's youtube.com/Zebrano Wood Craft. And yeah, I upload there. Like, I wish I had like a more regular upload schedule, but at the moment, like it's kind of like my, it's not like my main income. So I just kind of upload when I can. I try and get like 1 or 2 videos a month.
Does it generate an income for you though? How many subscribers are you on now?
I've got about 16,500 subs on YouTube. It doesn't do much. Like it depends the way you look at it, because for actual advertising revenue, it's not much. I'll get maybe like £50 or £60 a month. But then there's a big crossover, so it will like promote my actual physical products that I sell. And I actually released an online course back in November as well. So now like all of that traffic from YouTube will get funneled through to like my online course. And yeah, like,
is that through Skillshare? Do they then generate a code for people who watch your video? And then is it through Skillshare?
No, it's not through Skillshare. It's like it's through a platform called Thinkific. So it's like my own course. I was like, if I'm putting in like the amount of time and effort I need to make a course, to teach people what I'm doing, then, I ain't having no one taking a cut, bro. That money's all mine, But yeah, that's been amazing. So hopefully the plan going forward is to like transition the business more towards like creating online courses and online content. That's the plan.
I guess you're probably primed for that now because people aren't leaving their house.
Man, yeah, it's been a bit of a double-edged sword, because like when this whole crisis did initially start, I had like a little bit of an influx of people kind of inquiring about the course and stuff. But then now we're like 2 weeks in, and there's like just so much content being created by like every creative person out there, that now it's kind of like there's so much like noise to cut through. So actually I've seen a massive dip in engagement and views and stuff. Just because everyone's like, do this challenge with me.
Maybe put like something about like 5G masts in your tutorial, and then you'll get loads of people like, we want
how to create a ring out of an X 5G mast.
The only way that 5G will hurt you is if you snort it all at once.
With that in mind, would you make me a ring out of a hand sanitizer bottle? A toilet ring, a toilet roll. Let's have a think. What else?
And some pasta.
You could mix it with epoxy resin.
Yeah.
You could mix the hand Santana there's a bottle with epoxy red.
Yeah.
Out of that.
That's it.
Like a ring of plaster on my finger. Like I was shade of plaster.
Attack the telly.
So right, so so we know how you set your business up. You didn't get any funding. Do you think that obviously you pretty much answered this question actually, but do you think that being able to physically build things like will help your business? And do you utilize your business to pay tradesmen? So like say for example, you would give like, if someone came to your workshop, built your like new cabinets or whatever, or serviced your machines, you go, right, I'll give you a ring, or you can get a voucher off me to give to someone, or would you do it that way? Or have you ever done it?
Do you pay for their service, or do you give your skill as the...
I'll be honest, I've never really done a lot of like bartering with people, really, to be honest. Yeah. I really haven't actually had to pay for any tradesmen or anything, so I gotta say no for that, to be honest.
No.
Well, I'm of the opinion that, like, you know, gotta keep the economy going, so if I want to pay for something, or if I've got to pay for something, I'll pay the other tradesman. Do you know what I mean?
With that in mind,
or pay them an exposure.
No exposure, yeah.
You know.
Yeah, can you
I'll pay you an exposure, but
can you expose that picture of the dog behind you and tell us the story behind that as well?
Hang on, let me get it. Hang on, I have to take my cans off a minute. Right, hang on. So this is a beautifully rendered pencil portrait.
Wait, can you put the wizard back on?
I got to put the wizard back on. All right.
Yeah.
Hang on.
You can't do half an interview with a hat on and then off.
God, hang on. Right. Right. This is a beautifully rendered pencil drawing of a... What is this? Some kind of, like a spaniel? Some kind of a cocker spaniel or something? And I won it at a charity raffle, because like my girlfriend dragged me along to some like posh charity raffle. And it was like, I don't even know what it was for. It was like some dog... like loads of dogs were getting ill with some random disease on the South Downs, and they were doing like a fundraiser, and so I went along. Like £10 a ticket it was. £10 that cost me, but
that's the best time.
I tell you something amazing though. I haven't told you yet. The other day, yeah,
What?
I was all like, you know, freaking out about like coronavirus and all that, thinking like, oh god, how am I gonna survive? Like, how much money have I got? Checked my bank, right, on my banking app, and I won £1,000.
On what?
Yeah. Well, it was on it's this blood cancer charity called Bloodwise UK, and I basically one day randomly in Tesco's a couple of months ago, like in January, I got chatting to them, and they were like, "Oh, do you want to enter this weekly raffle? It's like £5 a month, and you get entered into like a lottery every Friday." And yeah, you can win like up to £10,000. And I won. Like last week, I won £1,000 from Bloodwise UK. Banging.
Bloody hell!
Yeah, man.
Big shout.
Shout out to Bloodwise UK, bros. You need to figure out a way to run your charity better. I've only paid you 15 quid, and you paid me 1,000.
How the hell are we going to find segues into other questions when we go off on such tangents?
Alright, listen, I told you, didn't I? Give me half a bottle of Pinot Gris and you won't fucking shut me up.
Right, okay. So I find that I do this a lot. I had a pretty bad spell of it the other week where I was comparing myself to others within my industry. And I follow another company, printing shop in Arizona, and my God, their content is just absolutely incredible.
Yeah.
You find, like, how do you feel about the other people within your industry? Like, are they approachable? Are they super friendly?
Yeah,
like,
man. Yeah.
Do you ever find yourself, like, comparing yourself to it all?
Yeah, definitely. Like, well, I've made like, because I've been doing it for so long now. Like, I've made connections with like lots of other ring makers, like all over the world. And
I guess you're part of.
most of them are like
right.
really sound. They're really, really nice people. So you know,
Yeah.
a lot of us will. Yeah.
Sponsored
So
by Bud Light.
comparison. Yeah, I mean, it's hard not to compare yourself to other people, and especially when like you might spend like 8 hours, 10 hours making a YouTube video, and you put it up and you get like 50 views, and then you see someone else who's like just done like the bare minimum, and they get picked up by the algorithm and they get like 30 million views, and you're just sitting there like, my video was better. But I don't know, I just, to be honest, I kind of just keep my head down now and just carry on.
Yeah.
Just, like, at the end of the day, like, I like to make content which, like, I would like to watch, which is normally, like, not very serious. It's normally pretty lighthearted, shows you how to do something, or you at least get a laugh out of it. Whereas, like, a lot of the other, like, makers who I compare to, they are more like, they're like super educational, or they're making like really edgy DIY videos, like, with like blurred out backgrounds and like slow motion dust coming through the window and stuff. And I'm just like, I'm pretty ghetto, like, do you know what I mean? I just like set up a camera and just do wherever and just have a laugh, So
I can see like where your animation background has come from, and I can see like the way you creatively put things together, and there's always like a really good narrative to you. Like,
thanks, bro. Thank you, man. Cheers.
Yeah. Sorry. Do you watch Colin Fears on YouTube?
Oh man, I love him. He's
so good.
He's such a beast so though. He's got like what is it? Nearly like 10 million subscribers. 10 million.
Ridiculous. But his videos are so raw. They don't need any fancy schmancy bollocks. It's just straight to the point, and it's absolutely incredible.
Yeah, pretty much. And he's always doing something like absolutely ridiculous, isn't he? Like shooting 10,000 fireworks at 10,000 fireworks.
Making Wolverine claws.
Yeah, or like just like making like a hover tank or something. He just does like, and he's just so outrageous, isn't he? He's so energetic. So yeah, I know what you mean, man. Like that's. I like maker videos when they're fun like that. Do you know what I mean? There's too many of just like you try to like watch something like, oh, how do I don't know, make like a coffee table or something, and it's just mind-numbingly boring. There's just someone just... I know.
So is there anyone like on these sort of YouTube channels that you really want to collaborate with, given the opportunity?
I feel kind of uncomfortable, like doing collaborations with people, because if I'm honest, I feel like I'm stumbling around in the dark and I don't know what I'm doing half the time anyway. So I wouldn't want to drag someone into my
They probably feel the same about them. They probably feel the same way about themselves.
Maybe, yeah. I wouldn't want to drag anyone into my chaotic production. Just be like, oh... I wouldn't know what to do. I honestly wouldn't know what to do. And, like, I think, like, the guys who are, like, they've got a bigger subscriber count than me, or, like, they're a bit more, like, professional. They're a bit more, like, respectable, and they've got 4K cameras and, lots of fancy camera work.
Well, that doesn't mean shit, though. If they don't have the charisma, are they wearing pirate hats?
That's what I'm talking about. Yeah, I don't know, maybe. I don't know, maybe, hopefully I'll get out to the United States one day when all this blows over, and go and do a little tour and visit a few people.
What's actually going on, Jim? What's going on?
I don't want to talk about it, because the YouTube video could get demonetized.
That's a very good point.
So
you can't say it. You can't say it.
That's why I put this mask on in the background, to just inform people that the internet is watching us all. And all that sort of.
Basically, the world has been infiltrated by 5G terabats that have been sent from the government to spy on us.
Called Lucky S.
And pigeons.
Oh yeah. And birds,
Don't forget
birds
the big-
aren't real. Have you seen that thing called Birds Aren't Real? There's like a conspiracy.
Yeah.
And they think that
It's
birds...
spy cam, the government.
Is that your like motto or like mantra, Jimmy?
Birds aren't real.
Birds aren't real. What do you kind of live by? Do you live by anything in particular?
What was my mantra?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is it birds aren't real?
I don't
Those
know.
are like wiggy moving.
My mantra, my favorite mantra comes from an Every Time I Die song. I was inspired by Every Time I Die song. It's like if you're gonna do it wrong, then you may as well do it right. You know?
Cool. That's good.
That's a bloody good mantra.
You know?
a good mantra. Right. What sort of things do you do to wind down, Jimmy, apart from the obvious sitting around in pirate hats, drinking, doing...
Well, no, you've missed out. You've missed out 2 questions in that.
Well, you haven't been talking. You've just been sat there looking like the background.
And that was a banging segue as well. Going from Every Time I Die, like, do you find that music like inspires you, or like what?
Yeah, you tell me, Jack.
Yeah.
Pricey.
Yes, definitely.
Like, is that what you put on?
I definitely wanna, you know, I want my customers to know that I've got a little bit of rock and roll in me, because I feel like that.
Yeah.
You know, whenever I get people coming to like visit me to come for a ring consultation, you know, a lot of the time they're like, "Oh, put on Holy Diver and let's have a few beers." You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I like to, you know, I feel like my ideal customers are pretty much like me anyway. So, you know, they're interested in the same sort of thing as me, which is, you know, rock and roll and lifting weights and drinking beers, bruh.
Banging riffs.
Meteorites.
Meteorites.
Damascus steel. Yeah, so apart from the obvious, you're not going to any gigs before long then, Jim?
No, man.
What was the last one you went to?
I went to see Frank Carter and the Rattlesnakes in Alexandra
choice.
Palace. That was
Nice.
It was in like February. That was,
Yeah.
and it was it wasn't that good actually, bro. I didn't enjoy it that much.
Oh.
I thought I'd enjoy Frank
It is
Carter a
too.
bit more, but it was he played more of his like a lot more like the soppy songs. You know what I mean? On the love songs and that, and it wasn't as raucous. It wasn't as raucous as what I would have liked.
I saw Architect there back in, was it last year maybe sometime?
Yeah.
The first time they played a show of 10,000 Cat, and it was just insane. It was so good.
Yeah, I've seen Architects, man. I seen them with Every Time I Die a few years ago, actually, in London. Epic show, man. I actually,
seen Every Time I Die.
when they played Follow the Water, right, a tear came from my eye. I was like, oh, I'm welling up. I got so emotional over it. I was like, oh. I was like, oh yeah, listening to Architects, and I started getting emotional now.
Right, Jimmy.
Yeah.
Have you ever found that you feel overwhelmed with the way your business runs? Overwhelmed with customer needs or what is needed of you in order for your business to run?
Yeah. All the time. All the time.
How'd you deal with it?
How'd you deal with it?
Poorly. I don't know. It is very overwhelming. You boys run businesses. Obviously, there's a lot of things to consider, isn't there? You know what I mean? And especially like in my business, I sweep the floors, I make the rings, I do the tax returns, I do all the marketing, I do all the promotion, I make the stupid videos. You know, I respond to all of the DMs and all the messages. And it's just like a lot. There's a lot of stuff to consider. So like I never really ever switch off. But at the same time, like I really enjoy it. You know, I love hustling and kind of teaching people and all the different elements. I love it. So I don't know. It never kind of gets too much of a grind for me, if that makes sense. But then there are days where it's like it's nice and sunny and everyone else is out like down the beer garden or whatever, and I'm just sort of stuck in my workshop making rings. You know what I mean? And it gets tough then. I don't know. I just guess you build up a bit of mental resilience and just get used to sort of being on your own. And
could you ever see yourself doing anything else than what you do right now?
Yeah, being an online course provider. So like that's
Provider.
And and basically then just be making more content rather than actually physically making products. That's that's it.
See, now that for me is a weird one, because I thought you'd always be wanting to be on tools, because when I started my little business, I always thought I was going to be screen printing, like from day one.
Yeah.
I did about a year and a half, 2 years, well, a year and a half probably. And then I employed somebody, and then they started screen printing, and then I took over the quoting and all that side of things. And I really, since this whole shit that's going down now, and having to furlough my staff, my friends, let alone my staff, I found being back on the tools is so much fun.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I think I guess I've reached a point now, maybe you did as well, when you were like super busy all the time and you're kind of doing these repetitive tasks, like making the same thing over and over again. And like it gets a bit like, it kind of kills the joy of it sort of thing. So I think like if I could be making, the large meat of my income with like, say like my course or, through advertising revenue on YouTube, that I could actually be like making projects for fun, just for like the sheer joy of making something again, rather than like the commercial kind of element.
Yeah, that's cool. I'm literally designing a pack of cards at the moment.
Oh, sick, man.
And I'm going to screen print a deck of 52 cards. So I've got the first set of royals, but I've got to do the other three.
Yeah,
but
banging.
That's my time down.
Are you going to have like Charles and Camilla on it?
So I'm going to have Carol Baskin.
I started drawing Carol Baskin and the Tiger.
Oh, let's have a look. I would definitely want to see that.
I'll send it to the boys. Give me a
No, show it on the screen. Everyone's got to see it.
Man, I definitely want to see like the pricey version of the Tiger King.
So I don't think you can see this.
Oh, you can't see that, bro.
Where's he gone? Right, there he is. Carol bloody Basket.
Oh, that's pretty good, man. Bro, that's pretty good.
Guarantee something like that, dude.
Well, I've got to put the tiger stripes on him. He's going to have tiger stripes coming up his neck, and I'm going to cover him in glitter.
Wow.
Yeah.
Absolute jokes, man. Very current, though. Wicked.
Current.
Pricey.
I'll go back to what I asked you earlier on, Jim. What do you do to wind down when you're not on lockdown? What
I
gets
find
you there?
literally the best thing that I do mainly for like my mental health is just lifting, man. I'm not like Hugh Jackman or Jason Momoa or anything, but it properly keeps me sane. Like if when the gym is open, I'll be in there 3-4 times a week, squats, deadlifts, bench press, powerlifting kind of stuff. Or now
What's your PB?
My PBs, bench press 120 for a single rep. I was pretty happy with that. I did a 205 kilogram deadlift, which I was happy with, and a 160 kilogram squat, which is pretty good considering like my right knee is a bit dodgy. And,
have you ever been involved in a 3-man lift?
A what?
A 3-man lift?
No, I know your story about the 3-man lift. And I'm no part of that. But no, I'm not exercising, bro. You got to do it, haven't you? You got to.
Yeah.
Like, it's the best thing you can do for like your mind more than your body, if anything.
Yeah. Yeah, I agree.
And now that the gym is closed, bro, I'm like,
What's your one exercise of the day then, Jim? What are you out running? Or are you on a bike? Or are you?
well, I started jogging again. Like, I didn't normally do jogging because like the impact is like, when you're doing lots of like squats and stuff, like you don't want to then be like running around like because it just your hips and knees just get destroyed. So I was just doing loads of stuff on like the rowing machines, but now like the gym's closed. I've been out jogging again and like jumping on the skipping rope, and I got like a pull-up bar and a dip station and a kettlebell at home. So yeah, I just been like doing like savage workouts at home, man. Burpees and stuff. Just doing burpees until you're nearly sick, and then then you have to stop.
Dicky.
My bike has been my lifesaver for this particular time, getting out on that, doing loads of miles.
When is your thing where you're cycling along the beach, man?
Well, that's going to be cancelled now because that's April.
Oh yeah, shit.
Yeah, and July long course weekend has been cancelled as well.
No way. Well, oh man.
This year is cancelled.
What's that?
This year is cancelled.
Yeah.
It sucks, man. I was so upset.
It's still running, so I've signed up for Car 10. They've moved that to September, so I should be able to do that, which is Cardiff to Tenby. That's charity based as well. I've done that before. It's a really good.
Man, that's like a long old drive. Never mind like a cycle, right? Damn.
Yeah, I hate driving. Cycling.
I loved it. It's quite an easy ride, if I'm honest, like compared to other stuff that I've done, like Bellathon and all. But yeah, I was really, really hoping to get to do long course this year, and I'm distraught that I haven't been able to do it. Like, I won't be doing it now. But I'm sure there'll be other things that'll pop up, and I'll just sign up for those instead. So
you have to make your own tough mudder in your house, man. You have to make a tough crudder.
I built a skate ramp this week, so
build an obstacle course in front of your toilet, so like every time you bust in the go, you have to like, I don't know, do some monkey bars and climb over a wall. Tough crudder.
Tough crudder. Oh dear. Okay, so awkward question really, but where do you see your business in a year's time? Do you think it's going to be like, especially now from this situation? What do you think?
That's a difficult one. Well, I hope. Well, I'll still be trading, man. I think I've got funds. I've got enough funds to last, a good couple of months, a good few months.
Yeah.
And hopefully everything will pick back up with a vengeance. So hopefully a year from now, if I can just sort of get back to where I was before the world crisis, I'd be happy. Because I mean, everything was going so well, man. Like, did you guys have like a little, like I had a little like 2 or 3 weeks where I was like just sulking, pretty much. I was just completely sulking because I was like, everything was going so well. The business was going well. I was making gains in the gym. Like everything was like, I had loads of plans. We were going on holiday and everything. And then all of a sudden, like the world just, like the rug just got pulled from underneath our feet, didn't it? And so I had like a couple of weeks there where I was like properly like, sulking. But now I feel like we've just eased into like a new normal now. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I think it's taught everybody to slow down. Like, we don't need to be living at the speed that we are living at.
Yeah.
I think if anything, and I think a lot of people will come out with this talk completely and utterly changed and like properly sorted out, like got their chakras realigned.
Yeah.
Chakras.
Man, like I've been like super impressed with like the creativity that is sort of forced upon people. It's like, they say, don't they, like stress kind of forces adaptation. And it's been like awesome to see, my personal trainer friends and like yoga teachers kind of getting online and doing live streams. And, you got like people who are chefs and they're getting online and doing kind of like, cookery shows and stuff. And it's just awesome. I'm kind of like, it's been kind of fascinating to see what people are coming up with. Do you know what I mean? Even though we're only really like 2 weeks into like the serious, this is basically just the start of it. So, I mean, in another 6 months, who knows, man? Who knows what'll happen?
Yeah. It's going to be quite nice to see a lot of people that didn't have that option of working should now be given that option of working well from home, like, you know, people who are disabled and all. Like,
oh yeah, man. Yeah, definitely.
Like, I think it's going to be awesome to start bringing stuff home for people to work as. There's no excuse,
definitely, man. Well, I think like another thing I've seen like is whenever you talk about starting a business, I definitely got this anyway when I was first starting out. People would always be like, "Oh, it's risky. It's risky being self-employed. You know, it's scary and there's lots of things that can go wrong." But it's like, imagine like if the only form of income you had was like you could only get paid if you turn up to this one place Monday to Friday, 9 to 5. And if you can't go there, then you don't get paid. Yeah. That's way more risky than like running a multifaceted business where you can, you know, make money however the hell you want.
There's bigger risks, but the rewards outweigh the risks.
Oh yeah, for sure, man. Yeah.
Yeah, but like this entire thing has shown us as well that it doesn't matter if you're employed, because some employed people are completely and utterly fucked over now. Like, and having to go to work. Like I read like online this week that like some guy was like making his staff go and build unnecessary buildings. Like he's refusing to like keep his guy off work. Yeah, he's refusing to keep him off work because they're classed as key workers because they're builders. You know, there's people that are in really bad situations are coming out of this, but I've only got myself to thank for or not thank for if like being self-employed. You know, like I should have put some stuff away, or shouldn't have like everybody else. You know, we should have all put something away for this rainy day that we didn't expect. But
we've been quite lucky in England, man. I got a letter through from the council like the other day, and they're offering like grants and stuff to like small businesses with premises. So I'm hoping we'll get like a good like little cash injection to help to see us through like this rough period. And then I think things will pick back up, like, and when they do, they'll go like beast mode. We'll go from like 0 to beast mode real quick. So I think take advantage of the calm before the storm.
That's part of lockdown where I don't know, I'm probably looking into it a bit more, but they might be keeping us at home a bit more because of money as well. They might not us want spending money at the minute, and then as soon as we come out of this, we're like, boom. Yeah. But it's like that. It could be part of the reason. I don't know. I'm not one of those lizards.
It's fun. I found like in the last, like, what's it been 10 days we've all been in lockdown now?
Yeah.
Like the first week, just people just cut everything. I had no messages, I was getting quote inquiries on the day, like for the club, but any service design work and all this.
Yeah.
And it dropped, and like today, like I've had about 6 or 7 messages from people like, "Are you still working?"
Oh, really?
I don't know what's changed. I don't know what's changed in people's minds. Like,
I think there's definitely been like a little bit of a panic buffer, but like I said, I feel like I'm starting to settle it into like a new normal now. Like this is all going to become normal. Like a week ago, there was all like novel. It was scary, like walking into a supermarket and seeing no food. 1 week on, I'm kind of used to it. I'm like, oh yeah, banging, whatever. And I think like that's going to be reflected in sales as well. You know, like. Well, not for me. Like I was like really busy, like when it first started. But then a lot of my customers' weddings and stuff have been cancelled now. So I think like that industry has had like a knock-on effect to me. So I don't know. Hopefully, when the weddings all do kick back off, then I'm gonna be like swamped. I think it's just a matter of now that we're all on lockdown. You know, you want to be seen as the business that's still like putting out content and still helping the customers and still providing some kind of, you know, education or entertainment or something. Yeah. So that when the wind breaks and the curtain opens, you know, you're going to be at the front of people's minds. That's my tactic right now, anyway.
Yeah. Yeah, and I think a lot of my employed friends as well are probably going to be like, I'm going to get tattooed straight away, or. Do you know what I mean? Like, that's the way it's going to work. Like everyone's probably thinking about the next tattoo as well while they're sitting at home. I've had people like drawing stuff in gaps and then sending it to me. Going like,
Oh, really?
can we please fill this gap in when you come back?
Yeah, mega.
Like, so I guess I initially was worried about the industry, but come on, it's one of the oldest industries ever. So that
well, that's the thing. Yeah. Well, that's the thing, man. I was thinking about this the other day as well. Like, people are not necessarily going to want to be buying jewelry when they're not out and about, like seeing anyone.
Yeah.
And it's kind of the same with tattoos as well, because it is like just self-adornment. You know what I mean? And it's kind of like a sort of a way to like express your personality in it, like the clothes you wear or the tattoos you have.
Our three businesses: clothing, tattoos, and jewelry.
Yeah. Like, do you know what I mean? Like, if you think about it, man, like, if I'm not going to be going out to any parties or anything for a good few months, like, I don't give a shit. Like, I went over to, like, I FaceTimed my mate the other day, and his wife came on, and she's like, "Oh, I haven't put on a bra in 3 days. It's like, I look rough." I was like, yeah, I think everyone's just looking a bit rough right now. Everyone's just, swamp creatures.
3 days.
But as soon as events start getting booked up again, I think we're going to see a lot of people like, oh, I need to, I want to buy a new dress, or I want to get like this tattoo, or I want to get some cool t-shirts to go out in or something. Or,
I also thought, like, people's mindset coming out of this as well, and they'd probably be like, oh, I'm sorry, I was sat down,
So just to explain to everyone who's listening, this is actually the second sit-in where we've recorded this podcast, because I was meant to screen record the first one, but I completely messed it up. Luckily, Jack managed to salvage the audio. then he was missing about an hour of the interview. So we've had to come back on and do it again. So I'm really sorry. Boys, I'm so sorry.
It's all right. It's fun.
On the record. So winding down, I think what we talked about yesterday. To wind down, obviously, like, the business is really stressful, and I do everything around here. I sweep the floors, I make the rings, I make the videos, I do all the customer service and everything. So it does get on top of me quite a bit. So actually, like, the healthiest way I wind down is I like doing some lifting. I like going to the gym, doing some lifting, but obviously that's sort of out the window at the moment. And it's just nice. Sometimes it's just nice to see your friends. Have a nice relaxing meal with your friends.
Yeah, but we can't do that now, can we?
Well, we can deal on Zoom if you want. We should all cook the same thing one night, and then
have a come dine with me. I'll send you the recipe and be like, "Oh, boys, make this."
That's a genius idea.
What do you think?
Oh, like the way that I did those garlic bread things myself.
Put on some entertainment, and then we'll all go on an individual chat and give each other marks out of 10.
That's incredible.
Instead of cooking, we could just do "come wine with me" and just drink wine.
That's great.
Because it's got a double meaning as well. Because A, you're getting shit off your chest, and B, you're drinking wine.
No one's taking the shit on my chest while I'm eating it. Not yet.
They could go on your second podcast, Peroni with Jack Merrony.
God.
So it's a massively weird place to be at the minute as for business. Where do you see your business in a year's time, Jim?
Oh man, what a question. Well, I hope to still be.
The other day?
I've heard this all before. No, I hope to still be trading in a year. I mean, it's kind of a bit like the Avengers, isn't it? I feel like Thanos has just clicked his fingers and half the businesses are going to disappear. So, like, you never know. In a year's time, could be less competition.
Have you secretly been making a glove this whole time? Collecting all the...
I've been setting loads of crystals into a glove, waiting for this moment. No, I'll still be going. I hope that I get a bit of downtime, actually, to put out a lot more content, like on YouTube, and do a bit more kind of live streaming and stuff. And yeah, and then I hope to be mostly selling online courses rather than physical products. Because if there's one thing that this whole situation has taught me is not to have all your eggs in one basket.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, agreed. There's no overheads with an online course either. You got no physical product.
Well, exactly.
Yeah.
And no time investment after you've initially done it. So you make it once and then you can sell it over and over again.
Yeah.
From anywhere in the world. Like a beach in Thailand.
Strong pass. Couldn't stand Thailand.
Mm.
No, not for me.
So, obviously, the same sort of question, because it's just not a really good time to ask this one, but is there anything exciting in the pipeline for you in the next few months apart from sitting on your remote control?
Mate, I honestly, anyone right now who has the luxury of being bored, I seriously envy you. Like if you're sitting at home, sitting on a remote control, playing computer games, whatever, I envy you, man, because I've got so much going on. I've got loads happening. You know, I've got obviously doing podcasts. I've got loads of video content planned. I've got work to do for my online course. Because I'd like to add to that monthly for the students. And then I've got like a weekly charity pub quiz that I'm doing as well, which I don't know if I've mentioned that already.
I think you did, yeah, but we'll check it in again. It's banging.
Put a link in at the end.
Yeah. So yeah, like there's loads of stuff going on, mate. I've just got loads of content to make, really. So I'm kind of happy about having the downtime, really, away from the studio to actually crack on with all the things I've been saying I wanted to do for so long. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Where are you in your studio now then?
Yeah, I'm in the workshop right now.
That's the last question that we're coming across, which was, for me, when you answered it yesterday, it was incredible. I loved it. And I know you on a personal level as well, so I didn't actually know this bit, but I knew you at the time of it happening. So for me now to listen to this answer is incredible. I loved it. I loved every second of listening to it. So I'm so glad I'm doing this again because I can hear it again.
Yeah, it was a good story.
So and we'll obviously cover the same sort of thing with you as well. So are there any personal life-changing moments you feel that have defined you? If you prefer not to air what has happened, that's totally understandable. So state yes, and if so, what did you take from that situation to help you progress further in yourself and get to your current destination?
That's a good question, mate. Still a good question. Yes, in fact, there was a defining moment, and I'm going to tell you about it all over again. So when I first moved to West Sussex, I was living with my girlfriend at the time, and I was kind of like jumping between lots of different jobs, like call center jobs or just like kind of dead end positions that really like were, you know, they didn't kind of give me any fulfillment in any kind of way. And like over time, I got into doing Etsy a little bit, like making rings on my kitchen table. And, you know, I had this pipe dream of like, one day I hope that I can at least make, you know, just a part-time income from doing this, or if I can just do like
at one point, didn't you like make a like a chalkboard to take to France? A driftwood.
Oh yeah, I was doing loads of weird stuff, man. I was like hustling, just trying to make. You know, I was like, if I can make an extra £200 a month, that made like a massive difference to me at the time. But anyway, I was working in this like call center part-time, and I really needed money. So I like signed up with like a recruitment agent, and they offered me like 1 day's work working in like a Waitrose car park for minimum wage. So I went along to this car park job. I had to spend £10 on the train fare there for a 6-hour shift where I was getting paid like £6.50 an hour. So I only made like £25-30 doing this anyway. And I got there, and they basically threw a fluorescent jacket on me and just sent me out into the car park like in torrential rain. And it was like absolutely hammering down. And sort of I was there for like an hour or two, And like the job was basically people would drive into the car park and I would then like just show them where to park, which was the most pointless, brain dead job you could ever hope to have in the torrential rain.
Did anybody not know how to park?
Oh, there were a few people I had to guide them in. Do you know what I mean? But it was not long after like my father had passed away. I was always estranged from my father as a child, but he'd passed away like about a month or two before. So I was in kind of a weird headspace and kind of didn't know what to do in my life. And like there was that moment kind of like it broke. That was the straw that broke the camel's back. There was like, you know, there'd been all this like weird kind of emotional buildup, which I'd held in. And then all of a sudden, like stood out in a freezing cold, getting like soaked down to the bone and then being talked down to by posh people in Waitrose car park in Brighton. And I was like, right, screw this, I'm done. And I literally just threw the fluorescent jacket into the staff room and just left and just got straight back on the train. And the recruitment agent actually like called me when I was on the train home. Where are you? Why have you walked away from the job? We're not going to pay you. And I was just like, fine, I don't even want you to pay me. Just leave me alone. Hung up on her. And then like literally about a minute later, I got like a little notification on my phone. Ping! And I had an email from Etsy to say that I'd sold a ring for £100.
So good.
And like that moment was just like, what? I was like, I could have been stood in that car park for 6 hours and not even made half of the money I just made. And I literally went home. I got home probably about 3 o'clock. I had a shower, made a nice dinner, started the ring at 4. You know, I was in my kitchen. I was warm, got to listen to some metal.
No fluorescent jacket.
No fluorescent jackets in sight. You know, and I made that ring and I sent it out the next day. So I like, that was the moment where I knew that despite what everyone had said, like it was possible to make like at least a semi-decent full-time living doing what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And since then I put like lots more energy into it. And and I've been full-time for just over 5 years, coming into 6 years in July.
Yeah, because we did pretty much exactly the same time we started off, didn't we? Like with our like our own businesses, like we were on the phone talking to each other, and I remember like just chatting to you about, oh, one day we'll be like selling our own stuff. You'll be having
man.
Like we've like gone through that stage together, which has been great to be honest.
I kicked myself for not starting earlier, but then again, like it was never. I was doing disability support work, so I was pretty happy doing all that. But I think again,
in Pembrey, your handbrake went off your car and it rolled down 2 steps
into the disabled building. Yeah.
I think like I've had time to think about a few different things since like we spoke the other day, and like what you just said then, Jack, was like quite poignant, I think, because like you said, you wish you'd started sooner.
Yeah.
And I reckon that now, in this current climate, what's going on right now, there's going to be a lot of people who are thinking like, oh my God, I wish I'd started doing this months ago.
Yeah.
I just think like no matter what you're planning to do, whether start a YouTube channel or whether you're going to try and, you know, get into graphic design or videography or anything, like right now, while the world has stopped, is the best time to start because, you know, we're in recessions always make millionaires. And, you know, when the world is down on its ass, that's when like successful people always rise from the ashes. And they're the people who got going and did what they said they were going to do right then and there. So I reckon that's my one piece of advice to people is, you know, take advantage of your time off work while you've got a bit of wages coming in. Yeah. And start whatever you want to get started.
I think a lot of people see this as negative, but I think for people who are starting something, exactly. You know, I've still got loads of shit I'm doing. Yeah. You know,
I recorded a video for Lloyd today about like a bit of content for people like teaching kids how to draw like a swallow, like a traditional tattoo swallow.
Yeah.
That's going on YouTube.
Mega.
So I can't wait to see that properly because his son is going to edit it. So I just sent over a video on WeShare today. I've never even thought about doing these sorts of things.
Yeah.
You know? now it's...
Well, I mean, it's one of those things there. What like stress always causes adaptation, and whether that's from you jump under a barbell and do a bunch of heavy bench presses, and then your body has to adapt, and you come back the following week stronger, or whether it's like all of a sudden you have to think of creative ways to create an income for yourself, and you'll adapt. And I think that this stressful time is actually some good will come out of this one way or another.
Yeah.
I feel like it's going to squeeze a lot of creative people out of their shells that they're in.
Yeah.
Man, I've seen so much that's cool content being put out this last week, like yoga instructors doing live streams, and like artists like making cool prints and stuff. Didn't you do an auction the other day, Price?
Yeah, I did an auction the other day for NHS, which raised £100. I haven't had the guy pay me yet, but yeah, he will do. Unless I'll just put a picture up of him.
Auction off the second highest bidding. Like, we've already spoken about that.
But he's mentioned that he's just been too busy to do it, to send me the money. So I was like, yeah, okay, that's fine. So I'll just.
I don't think that's an excuse in any day right now. It's so
yeah,
easy to send money. I could send Jimmy £20 now. Yeah,
here's a PayPal invoice. Pay you, son of a bitch. Goddamn Carol Baskin.
What I will do, because there was like a few really keen people on there, like I've messaged them, and I'm just going to do 3, like, I'm going to do 2 more prints and 2 more paintings to give out. One's going to be sea-based, because the guy, he works on like patrolling like areas of sea in Pembrokeshire. So I might do like a second prize print, if that makes sense, or second prize painting. But like, I've got a commission that I've got to do as well. I'm just like,
oh yeah, nice.
Like, I live so close to the woods. Like, I went and did like some social distance and exercise on my mountain bike today, which was nice. There's like no one in the woods at all. Just like, my mountain bike is beautiful, like really nice. Just chasing squirrels.
Yeah, I need to get back exercising again. I've got to level 90 on World of Warcraft the last 2 weeks.
No, man, no.
Yeah.
Put that down and get on the floor and do some push-ups, mate.
I know, yeah.
You thank yourself for it so much. Price, I think I really want you to create like a digital colouring book, man.
Yeah, that could be a good shout, actually. Yeah.
I really, I want one. I want to be able to sit down and like colour in like stupid artworks.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Right. Okay. Cool. I'll start this week at some point. We did vaguely discuss my old job and my poignant reason, which has made Jimmy like I'm looking at the screen in his face now and he's already laughing. So I'm going to run into a little bit of a poignant moment for me.
The moment you realise you needed to change.
So basically, every day in the steelworks after your shift, you were paid to get a shower. But this was a massive communal shower, and you'd like try and get the warmest shower or whatever. There's like a few incidents that happened in the shower. There was like 2 guys that had their falling out on one shift, and one of them would put another one in the headlock. So it was always like a weird place to be. I remember there was like this one guy. There's one guy that was like picking on me all shift once, right? But I didn't tell you this one. He was picking on me all shift. He's doing my head in, and he was like grasping me up to the boss if I had like 5 minutes break or whatever. He'd be like laughing like muddly behind him. So like I go into the shower, and it just happened to be it was just me and him in the shower. So I knew there was like one shower working next to me, right? So I grabbed hold of this shower head, and I knew he was freezing, right? And I like sprayed him as hard as I could. Just kept him freezing cold. He's like, stop it, I'm telling the boss. I was like, you told the boss on me all day. We have it. But anyway.
Stitches get stitches.
Stitches get cold showers, boy. It was like being in prison, man, that place. It was like, there's a guy called Frank. Frank,
that was his name.
Absolute legend. Frank Flood. Big shout out to Frank Flood. He's one of the people you meet along the way, and he's just an absolute hero. Frank actually worked as a tattooist in London with a guy called the Jock, who's really, really famous. He's a Scottish tattooist that used to work in London. I think it was in Soho. But anyway, so Frank came in once, and if you were to wear your pants in the shower, it would be deemed that you were like a bit of a homosexual. So you'd always get like gripe from the boys if you decided you were going to wear your pants in the shower. So Frank came in, and he's like not the guy to give gripe to. He's like really old. He's covered in all these old tattoos, and he's wearing his pants into the shower. And I was like, "Oh, Frank, why are you wearing your pants, you homo?" And he turned around and he's like, "Because I shit myself, boys." So he's like swills his pants. He swills his pants out while we're in the shower with him. And
God.
Going down the central hole of the shower, like, and he's just like scooping his pants with his
scoop.
with his foot.
Scooping it.
And then
Scoop is such a vivid description.
And then he gets his pants, he puts them in a plastic bag, and we never think of anything again. So we're all stood by the cocking machine the day after. We're like, "Frank, what happened to your pants yesterday, man?" He's like, "You shit yourself today?" And he's like, "Oh, I went through the back door." My missus was cooking, so I decided to put my pants on the oven to dry them out.
So at what point did you go, right, I've had enough then, I'm leaving?
I remember me and one of the boys, Gav, we were just laughing like Al and Casey. We were just like, "This is incredible. This is one of the stories that you'll never forget." You know, there's like loads of funny.
Watching some guy called Frank scooping out his shitty pants in the shower. Like, oh yeah, I gotta leave, man. I gotta leave this job.
I don't know why I want to dive deeper into this, but did you ask him at what point he'd shat himself, or did he shit himself walking into the shower?
Basically, he like farted when he was like
Started,
and he'd like stayed in his pants all day. Like I was just like, "Oh, for fuck's sake!" We do 12-hour shifts in a machine, and then like they literally like park up for 20 minutes while we have a shower. The next shift comes in, and then it's in that exact machine for like the day of 12 hours.
Oh man, that's so great.
Oh my God! Right, well, on that beautifully brown note, I think that will conclude the the second interview.
Second coming.
Well,
coming.
I'm sorry about the continuity errors.
I think
it's quite fitting that we did two.
Because Frank did a number 2 in his pants as well.
Yeah.
Frankie Two Poos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Oh.
Well, guys, thank you for having me, and I hope I get invited on again.
Definitely.
Just don't let me in charge of recording.
Yeah, leave that to me. I figured it all out now.
Yeah, we'll call you back in
6 months.
Maybe a year or 6 months.
Yeah.
I want to be on sooner than that.
And
I just start my own podcast and invite you boys on it.
It's a broadcast.
It's a broadcast.
I call it progression, not destination.
Do it. Or you could call it progression over isolation.
I'm going to get Ian on next week.
Ooh. Ian what?
Ian, tell me about what inspired you to open a chip shop on Albert Square.
Oh, God.
Where'd you get your inspiration from?
It's all in his soul.
The Mitchells.
Do you want to plug your channels and plug your?
I don't feel like I should be allowed to after my debacles. But if you want to come and find me, at Zebrano Wood Craft everywhere, on Instagram, YouTube / Zebrano Wood Craft. Easy peasy.
I meant to ask, where's Zebrano come from?
Zebrano is a beautiful type of exotic wood.
Ah.
Only found underneath an elephant's foreskin.
What a tagline. What a new tagline. I knew I'd get some value out of this.
For God's sake. Well, thank you very much for coming on the podcast. It's been an absolute pleasure having you. If anybody would like to check him out, it's Zebrano Wood Craft.
I'll see you boys on my podcast next week.
Cheers, dude.
Safe, boys. Thank you very much.
Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode. As a new addition to this podcast, we'll be updating the description with show notes to help you see what's to expect in the episode. Remember, we're on YouTube and social media, and you can find us by searching Progression over Destination. If you enjoyed this episode, then it would mean the world to us if you could leave us a review on iTunes, or by commenting on this below. It's the best way for other people to discover the show. Thanks again for tuning in, and we'll see you next week on Progression over Destination.
Progression.